Hello everyone! Welcome to Dancers Doing Stuff. This is our first Sunday episode, so it's very exciting. And I have a very awesome guest today. Today we are talking with Becca Robinson, and she is like, what hasn't she done? She's like an amazing dancer. She's from San Diego. She has danced for Taylor Swift. She's been in movies. She's been in musicals. She's been in, there's like so much that she's done, but also she's like an incredible human. She's hilarious. She is so good at like staying true to who she is as a person. So I'm just really excited for you guys to hear her and just craft with us and talk about everything. So before I bring her in, I always like to show a video of my guests dancing because I just like to hype them up because, you know, she's awesome. So I love that video so much. Okay, it's time to bring in Becca.
Am I muted?
It's working. Awesome. Welcome to Dancers Doing Stuff. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. That video also makes me smile, like super selfishly. I'm like, such a good song.
It's so good.
Shout out to Brenda.
Plus, your energy in that video just makes me so happy. Like, you're just, I feel like everything you do, it's from deep inside your heart. So I love that.
Received into my color.
I know, it's so, I love giving compliments and I hate taking them. So, I feel
same.
Something I gotta work on. We're going to start off right with our craft. Oh, I showed what it was.
No!
For those of you who don't know, Becca has a hilarious Instagram, and she has really committed to this one, I don't know how to explain it. You've really committed to this one, not a gag, but it's like a segment.
A segment. I like to call it my brand, but it's definitely not. But I backstory. I used to do it on Snapchat. I used to do it on Snapchat when I was in college for like a day, and
because Becca was like Snapchat famous, like before you even knew that could be a thing. She was like a Snapchat influencer.
I was like, what does this mean? Why are people watching this? Because like I'm just posting about me pooping, which I think I got the inspiration from. There was this Vine that was like sitting on a toilet, and then sit in the toilet. And I was like, that's so funny because, like, yes. And nobody talks about pooping, and everybody does it. And I pooped so much before I found out that I was gluten intolerant. And so I spent most of my life for like 5 years sitting on a toilet just pooping. And I was so bored. I was like, might as well just document my experience because I'm here for genuinely an hour. So that's how that kind of started. So shout out to my doctors for like screwing up my stomach. Wait, can I curse also? Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
You haven't yet.
Yeah, no, I almost said the F word, and I was just like, wait a second.
I'll mark it as explicit. So.
Great. So sorry. I get passionate, and when I get passionate, I yell curse words.
So during this, I mean, obviously, you always have like your funny stories on Instagram, and during the pandemic, you really like committed. I know you did like that project you were telling me about the program.
Yes.
So wait, explain this. Like before we get into anything, I need you to like
Okay.
it leads into why we're doing the craft that we're doing.
Okay. So starting first, I did a program called ABBD, which is the Artful Balance of Business and Dance, and that was curated by Sora Yang. And we had a bunch of projects, and in my future, like, yes, I'm a dancer now, but to me, that's just like the starting point of like what I want to do. Before quarantine, I like got the opportunity to be an assistant choreographer on a job, and I was like, and got to infuse like some comedy in it. So I realized that like that's what I want to do for my future. I've always wanted to direct, but I want to specifically infuse comedy to my work in any type of way. And I want, like, I've also a dream of mine. I want to be a cast member on SNL, but I don't do anything comedy related. Like, I haven't taken any stand up classes, which I will get into eventually in life. But I want to, like, be the person that choreographs the, like, funny music videos that's on Saturday Night Live. I want Nick Kinkle's job, basically. And, so coming and Kinkle, love you. So for my final project, I wanted to infuse the business side of what I learned and also the creative side. And I was like, well, might as well stay on brand. I really love Charmin, and I haven't done a commercial for for something that I use daily. And I choreographed the dance first and didn't have any intentions of doing the Charmin commercial, I guess, as my final project. And the song is called Best of My Love, and I was like, I really like toilet paper, and I really love it. So what if I just did that? And then I did it, and I sent it to Charmin just because I was like, hey, this is kind of good, hire me. And they liked me, and it was cool because I don't want to say never, but like I haven't had a brand that I like admire so deeply and like give a care about me. So I was really excited, and they sent me free toilet paper, so I was good for a week, which was nice. We go through so much toilet paper, it's funny.
So that I love that story. It's like it was so exciting as like an outsider to just see you like get that package from Charmin, and like it's just also so hilarious because it is like everyone does it, and like you bring it up, and it's just so funny. So I decided that we had to do something toilet paper related for our craft. So I made you save some of your toilet paper, and what we're gonna attempt to do is I delivered this wooden little dish that I got at Michael's, and what we're going to attempt to do is to turn these toilet paper rolls into some sort of cute like makeup brush stand or a you know.
What? That's so
And
cute. I wish I had the long one.
I know, I saved a paper towel roll. I don't know, honestly, if it's gonna turn out well, but we'll see. So, what we're gonna do to start, we're gonna start right into the craft, and we will chat about dance and life and everything. But the first thing we need to do, I kind of started to try and paint mine, so excuse that ugliness. But what we need to do is we need to glue gun the bottom, and we're gonna just put them where you want it to be. I think I'm gonna try and use 3. We'll see. It would be better, obviously, if there was like a camera that showed our workspace, but I don't really know how to do that technology. If anyone out there knows, let me know, and I'll figure it out next time. But I have this like hot glue gun. It's plugged into the wall over here, and it's like Gorilla Glue, so I think it's gonna be very intense. So I'm just gonna glue around it. While we do this, I wanted to ask you just kind of like how you got into dance, like where you're from, that kind of stuff. Like, what is your backstory? Like, bring us all the way back to the beginning.
Okay, so oh my god, I'm doing a terrible job right off the bat. But so I started dancing when I was 2. Oh my gosh, I failed miserably. Let's try this again. Started dancing when I was 2. I started off with ballet and tap, like every 2-year-old. I got put into dance so that I could calm down. my I was a very hyperactive child, and my parents were like, let's put you into dance. And I was like the type of kid, like once I got there, I was like, why aren't these kids paying attention? Like, follow the rules, do this, do that. And oh my gosh, I hope that worked. Yes. So then I loved it. Oops. And I just kept going back. Tap was my first love. Like I think that I just found it so cool that I got to make my own sounds with my feet. And I thought that was like the coolest thing anyone could do was make sounds with their feet. Um, and that kind of got me into wanting to do hip hop. I started taking like popping classes when I was like 6. And like, I'm not saying I'm a popper by any means, but
When you were 6 years old?
6 years old, I took my very first popping class. I wasn't good.
I
Let's
didn't
just
even know that those classes existed when I was 6 years old. That is so.
yeah, I wasn't. It was so the studio that I went to offered like so many things, and the our dance company from my studio, like we weren't allowed to take hip hop unless we took like some fundamental things. So also 6 years old, like I took African classes. I like learned kind of everything that I needed to if I wanted to be on the company.
That's amazing that they started. That's how it should be for all places.
Which I'm so grateful for my teacher, Miss Lisa. She was everything. She taught me, and Ambrose for Specio. They were like my teachers. Oh, and Shanna as well. Shanna taught me like how to choreograph and be confident in my work. But anyway, so then I started doing that. I oh my gosh, I'm failing at this
Some trouble with your glue gun.
I'm just like can't seem to get it on a line, so I'm now just gluing gluing the I don't even know, the toilet paper roll and the thing like once I put it down. Okay. Let's see. Grew up in San Diego, was a part of Nisha's Dance Academy. Um my high school dance team I think is where I really thrived. Eastlake Dance Company, which was my high school's dance team. But we weren't like I don't want to say like we weren't like other dance teams. It was our choreographers that went to our school, but also were working as successful dancers and choreographers in LA. So we kind of got a really good steal with that. And we got like LA training while being in high school. And everyone was in the same boat. We all wanted the same things. We wanted to be professional human beings first and then be a dancer. We knew like what the steps were to do that, and we were taught that. Oh my god, I'm so distracted. I'm sorry if I'm like
It's kind of
stuttering.
hard to use a glue gun and talk at the
I
same
know.
time.
I'm like, oh my
I'm also
gosh, I
trying to use
wanna.
my left hand, which is also a challenge.
Wait, why are you left hand?
Was your school a performing arts kind of base school, or was it just like a regular school that happened to have a really awesome dance?
Yeah. So we were really good. We were really good at everything. I feel like it was a predominantly like sports school. But our dance team was just really good. We all wanted, yeah, we all knew what we were getting into. Most of us came from like a competition or convention background. Um, I was a competition kid, but I feel like I was more of a convention kid. I went to competitions, but like I couldn't bust out like 56 turns, and my leg still doesn't go higher than 90 degrees.
So no
Um,
like over tilts or
yeah,
anything.
I think the most turns that I did was like two, and we didn't have any arms, which was scary. But
You had
um,
no arms in your turns?
yeah, we had them completely. Well, for one dance, we had them like glued to our side, and
That's kind of hard though.
yeah, and I did, and it was a left turn too, which was
Wow.
okay. Anyway, but I went to Pulse, I went to Monsters, Co-Dance, did the whole convention thing for a while, and that's kind of where I learned my pickup skills. I have such a short attention span that I and also like great memory, but like was terrible in school.
Interesting.
um, but yeah, going to conventions like really helped me like stay focused in a way because there was so much stimulation going everywhere. So I needed to I can't get in this little crevice. um, and let me see if I can do this. Let's see. Okay, maybe one side just won't have it. Yeah. Okay, cool. I did it, I think.
Nice. Let me see. Oh, amazing. That looks great. I like how you did four. That'll hold a lot of items. So
Right.
I'm a little ahead of you right now.
That's fine. I will speed up.
Everyone can do it at their own time. So my gorilla glue was like very intense, so I had to just commit and stick it down.
So fast.
It was very intense glue. But right now I'm just painting it with this metallic paint because I thought it might like make it look a little less like it was toilet paper rolls stuck to a wooden tray. So we'll see. But yeah, that is so awesome that like you were able to have LA experiences, and I think that conventions really are so valuable. I never really did them growing up. I went to like a studio where we mostly did like ballet and like we didn't really do like competitions and stuff. I did go to another school that did competitions sometimes, but conventions were never really part of my training. And looking back, I'm like kind of jealous of people who did that because you get exposed to so many different teachers and so many different styles and like
Yes, I think that was the biggest takeaway. I'm also like, I was so jealous of people that like, I don't want to say that I didn't get technique training because I feel like I'm a jazz kid at heart. But I was, I was never the like, I was never the one who was like super technical. So I always envied the girls and guys and everything in between that could, um, just do that, and my body just wasn't made for that. I guess, but I was always the kid that had potential, and so I didn't want. That's why I think I got into dance more. Was I had so many people tell me that I couldn't, and I knew that I could, but I think a lot of people. I was a bigger kid, and I mean, I wasn't like not healthy. I was healthy, but I just, also like to eat.
Right, and
And
everyone's body is made differently, and it sucks that it's so often like I think it's getting better now, but especially when we were growing up, even it's it was still very much like a dancer has to look a certain way, and I feel like
I
over
do
the
think
last few
until,
years, it's been even
yes,
changing.
was just about to say that. I think that people are starting to understand that, like, not everyone is a size two. Just because you're this size does not mean that you're any less or anything that's, I think, I want to say in a negative way. Um, just because of your size, like, people can do anything they want to if they have enough, like, willpower and commitment. Um, and yeah, nothing or nobody should ever hold anyone back, let alone the opinion of like someone who's insignificant. I say that very lightly. I mean more of the sense like if someone's telling you you can't, like who are they to say that you can't? Like if I say I could, I can do that. I can do it if I want to do it.
I
I can
love
do it.
that. Exactly.
That's
So,
kind of
when you were younger, did you think about going into dance professionally when you were like starting out, or when you were like
I
when did
think
you kind of start thinking about that?
I think when I was like 10, I realized that like, okay, I don't want to have a plan B. I want I want this to be I want this to be my plan B and my plan A. Um and I never really looked back. I was very headstrong on the fact that people told me I couldn't do it, so I really wanted to do it. Um, I was bullied a lot. I always talk about this every time I like talk to someone, but I was bullied a lot in school, and it was looking back now, I believe that it was because they were just jealous that like I didn't fit the normal beauty standards of whatever was hip and trending at the time. So, um, people just didn't like that I didn't care in that sense, but like deep down I cared so much.
Right.
Um, and I wasn't gonna take no for an answer about being a dancer. I had a math teacher once, like I had to go to an assembly, and my math teacher was like, dance isn't a real career, and I'm like, that's awesome, but also I do actually have to go to the assembly, so can you let me go?
That's
um,
insane. How old were you when
yeah.
they said that to you?
I think I was like 14. I think I mean, my birthday's in December, so I was a sophomore, and they said that.
Wow. At
And
that point, you had already been kind of like going into LA. Like, when did
yeah,
you get signed? Because I know you got signed when
so
you were
yes,
younger.
I got signed when I was 17. The first time I auditioned for an agency, I auditioned for MSA, and I didn't get it. And I was really upset about it, but I went to the kids audition, and that's why I didn't get signed. I think I looked a little bit older than a kid. But I then that following year, I went to Tremaine and I won the freestyle challenge for that city. I eventually became the first ever freestyler of the year for Tremaine.
Oh my gosh,
That's
that's
also
so
a fun
cool.
fact. And so after that, we were in LA for Tremaine, and Shelly from MSA LA, she was like, "Are you coming to the audition on Thursday?" And I wasn't planning on it, but I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming." And so I told my mom, and she was just like, "Yeah, if you can take the train up." And I was living alone in a way. So my dance teacher was my roommate. My mom was working in New York, so had I kind of lived on my own um, for my junior and senior year of high school. And um, just kind of I was already going like to and from LA on the weekends. Um, and got myself there and auditioned, and I got an email later that night. And I went to both the technique call and the not technique call. Call. I'm like, what is it?
Right. For
And
anyone who doesn't like is not in the dance industry, if you watch this, usually like for agency calls, they'll either split it up by like theater or like commercial, and so that's kind of like there's a few different options of
yeah,
places where you
where
might
your
fit into the
comfortability
industry.
is. Yeah. And I think now a little more. I've been to, since being signed, I've helped out with a lot of MSA's um, auditions for the agency calls. And I think that because the industry is also ever changing, they are doing, I don't know about anyone else really for agency wise, but I do think that MSA does a really good job at um, giving a combo that is not super musical theater or super commercial heavy. I think that there's a commercial technique mix.
Mm.
Um, but also, like, in that same breath, there are auditions where it's like you have to walk, and if just off your walk, if that's not what they need, then see you next time. Like, I'm so grateful that I got signed as a kid, because because I don't I just dropped it. I think that the industry is so cutthroat that I don't know if my confidence in that environment would shine through. I think that I might, I say that now, but I
Is that
think
an
that,
agency audition?
yeah, I feel like I might get like overwhelmed, like even
You
at
know, it's
auditions
really
now.
crazy. Like at those big open call agency auditions, like I think I went to an MSA one a few summers ago, and it was insane the number of people who were there. Like
Yeah.
we had like it was like a fire code that we had to like leave the
Yeah,
building.
wait, was that the one that Miles was
Yeah.
teaching it? Yeah, that was
I
the
was in the
longest
last group,
number.
and we had to learn. I think you taught the audition
Yeah.
because we ran out of time, and so we learned it in the holding room, and
Yes.
you and
Triana.
yeah, you guys taught it, and it was a really fun combo. But that was a crazy audition, and so
That was the most people that they've ever had in an audition in MSA history.
it was
Fun
out of
fact.
control. It was really out of control. I don't know if I've been to an agency call since then because of that audition.
It was very stressful, to say the least. It was, yeah, it was a fire code. And I think it was at a time where there wasn't really like a lot of agency auditions. I feel like they're with most agencies, they do them like twice a year, if not once a year. And I mean, during this pandemic, I don't think there's been any,
Yeah.
but um it's crazy. I mean, there's so many people moving to the city every day too, that there, I think that a lot of people think that you need an agent to be successful in this industry, which is not true. It's definitely helpful for auditions, but um you do not need an agent to be successful. If you are so like, I want to say willpower, but if you commit to your art, like you are capable of anything, and you don't need uh, an agent to do that. Um, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for my agents, but I don't think that that is the end all be all if you get signed or if you don't get signed. Um, in New York and in LA, it's very helpful. Um, but even theater, like with equity calls, if you're not equity, like you're still waiting in line. You can have an agent all you want, but unless you have an audition or an audition time, then you're gonna be waiting at 6 in the morning to be seen, and still not maybe even be seen. And
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with your agents.
I feel like though because of this pandemic, I feel like that's gotta change. The whole,
Yeah,
especially with the theater world. I mean, like I went to the Hairspray audition right before all of this happened, and I got there at 6 a.m. I thought that that was pretty early for a 10 a.m. start to the audition, and there were people who were in line starting at 3 a.m. They slept out
yeah,
in March in New York on the streets, 34th Street, like just camped out.
I
That's, I'm sure
know.
we all got sick after that. Who knows if it was COVID or what?
Corona.
But that was like, I feel like it has to change. We have to move forward from this. Like, there's got to be some sort of like app that's like Tinder for casting people, even if
Yeah, like
it's
Disney.
listen, like, because it is really crazy. Plus, it's like a huge waste of time, and it affects people who, like, there are some people who don't have to have a day job, and they're very blessed to be able to just like
Yeah.
be in the city, and they have a set amount of time, or they have some help from parents, and they can audition all they want, and but that's not the majority of people that I know.
People.
So it is like, I really hope that something kind of comes
I
from
don't.
this.
Yeah. I don't think that I will ever do that, but I think that there are so many other ways, like whether it's a self-tape or yeah, I mean like Disney World has like set times on when you're supposed to like show up. Like they can just use the same software.
There's
And
got to be a better way. So if anyone out there watches,
yeah, please
please
make
help us.
auditioning
Maybe the tech
healthy.
company needs to get involved. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
there's probably money to be made. I don't know. Like, it just has to be better.
Let's make an app ourselves. We can like
It's like
that would
Tinder for
be so.
auditions.
Yeah. And like you swipe through and like choose your time and how to do it. And yeah, wait, honestly, like that's a great idea. We should do it. Don't nope.
No one take our idea. You heard it here first.
No, actually anyone who wants to help don't because we're gonna figure it out ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay. You know,
How is it looking? How's your?
from far away I think it looks great.
I think it might need to dry and like do a second coat. This is mine right now.
It's incredible.
I mean, I think the metallic paint helps, but I think I do need to do another coat, and one of them is like falling off because I didn't use enough glue. But I think that it's on its way. I think it could look okay.
I think I have silver, so I'm gonna pull that out from my bed real quick.
Awesome. And I'm actually gonna get our first game ready.
Ready.
That way we can do our Would You Rather game, which is one of my faves. So for anyone watching live, I think that for some reason Facebook isn't working, but if you are on Facebook, definitely head on over to YouTube, because then you can be involved. For example, Kate wrote in and she said, "Miss you, Bex." So I just put that on the screen. um,
Hold on, I can't
I don't
see.
think you'll be able to see it until you watch after. But
No.
yeah, so if anyone is watching and you want to participate in Would You Rather, you can head on over to YouTube and you can type in the comments, and then you can let us know what you would choose. But let me pick. Oh, I've got to do my little. Here we go. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to pick randomly one of these red cards and one of these blue. Okay, so would you rather cry 126 tears each time you saw a car, or would you rather bark like a dog every time you see a bus?
Okay, well, I genuinely already cry like a million tears a day. I I see the wind blow and I'm like, that is just so great. So I think I'd rather cry because I already do it and I'm used to it, and honestly it's not that bad. But 126 does not seem like that much. So I would say that one.
I mean, I
Which
guess
one would you choose?
where does one tear end and the other tear start when you're really
Stop.
crying?
Yeah,
It's just a big
there's
stream
no.
for me. So
Yeah, no, honestly, same. My eyes just like stay wet. I added silver and it's 10 times better.
yeah,
So
I think the
that,
metallic is the way to go. I think the metallic is the way
yes,
to go.
I'm
That looks
glad
really
that
good.
I learned that. I'm just gonna paint this whole time because I have a too much key.
I know,
Yeah.
I just did it with my hands. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have all soft and fluffy textures feel like sandpaper when you touch them, or be pooed on daily by a seagull?
Ooh. Um. I don't want to be pooed on. I think that, like, that's where I draw the line at poop. Um, so I might have to go with the sandpaper, which makes me so sad because I love fluffy things.
That means like even your
But,
cats would feel like sandpaper, I think.
I mean, their tongue feels so wait, so but if we're realistically speaking, would anything that's like sandpaper feel soft?
I don't think that's part of it.
Ugh, okay, I'll choose the sandpaper one just because I don't wanna be pooed on. Okay, I'm giving too much, so I'm gonna let it dry
Yeah, yeah.
and
I think it just needs a little time to breathe. Okay,
breathe.
last, would you rather? Would you
Sorry.
rather only be able to travel by means of a terrifying roller coaster or feel an eternal, unquenchable thirst?
Ooh, okay. Hmm. I really like roller coasters, but there are some roller coasters where I'm like, I can't do that. But like travel, like if I'm on the train and have to do
Just
this,
like anytime you're
um,
traveling, you're like roller coastering.
or be thirsty,
Yeah,
that's forever.
forever. No matter how much you
Ooh,
drink, it will never get better.
take the
As
sip.
you take a sip. Right?
I feel like I would have to choose the roller coaster. I love roller coasters, and when I'm thirsty, like it's like game over. And I don't know if I want to be uncomfortable forever. You know,
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
think I'm gonna choose. I think I'm gonna choose the roller coaster. Which one would you choose?
I think I would have to choose the roller coaster, but I don't ever go on roller coasters, like not even baby ones. So it would be really.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just never really been like a big like rides person. I like
Person?
spinny rides, but I don't really like the roller coasters for some reason. But maybe I need to give them a second chance if we're ever allowed to like go anywhere again.
Six Flags is open. Six Flags has great roller coasters.
Oh, yeah, and you worked at Six Flags.
I did. I was part of Dead Man's Party, which I don't think they're doing this year because of COVID.
Right.
But Dead Man's Party, first cast that Teresa did, it was great. Such a good experience. I think it was good for me to do it once and get that experience. Um, it was a little hard on my body for how cold it was. And I feel like that's like, oh, it was so cold. But it was really difficult in makeup and in our costume in really cold weather to do that. I slipped off a step once and like dislocated or like popped my knee out during a show. So for the last show, I couldn't do the next show. Um, but it was the people that I met and like Austin, my roommate, I met him during that show. Um, and it was a really great experience. I'm happy that I got to experience it with the cast that we had because we just got a lot closer and learned a lot about each other. And it was just, I don't know, it was a really nice experience that I got to be with them for as long as we did. Because I think that's what kept us all going through it. Yeah, it was great. And Teresa's awesome as well. And I've always wanted to like work with her. I love her as a person. So I'm happy that I got to work with her because she's not easy. And
It's tough.
she's tough. And I guess that's the type of training that I'm used to. Like I love being told what to do. Like if I'm wrong, like tell me I'm wrong. And I didn't want to disappoint her and at all. And Julia and Shelby and Erica, they all like work with Teresa on a daily basis. So me being in the corner, like I need to be Julia and Shelby and Erica, I was like, shit, I can't slack. I need to do good. And I'd like watch videos and I'm like, oh, this choreo is like messing with my mind. There was one day, she taught us Thriller and it was like a modified version of Thriller, but all of us were just like not there. Like we could not pick up these steps and it was like the easiest out of all of the choreography. But we were in this tent and it was just not working and she was like, what's going on? And we were like, yo, we can't tell you. Like I don't know, like our brains were just fried. And we only had a week to like learn everything. So for it to, I think it might have been 2 weeks, but we had like, it was just, it was so funny because she's real. She's not like, all right, y'all are killing it. If we're not killing it, just let
You're
us know.
gonna know.
Yeah. And like, I love that because I,
Fake, because I feel like everyone that you said who was in the cast, like they're all so talented, but also they're the type of people who like they work so hard. So
and
they're gonna want to get it right and be as best as they can be. So
yeah. And I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be the person that was the weak link. Like, I didn't want to be the one. I don't think any of us were the weak link at all, but I didn't want to be the one that, you know, fucked up the show.
yeah,
I didn't want to be that one. But I'm grateful that I got to work with Teresa on that level because even though she's like hard to, not, I don't even want to say hard to work with, but like she's just a very like strong personality to like get it right. I like never want to disappoint her again, even though I don't think I disappointed her, but like never want to disappoint her. And it gave me this sense of professionalism like throughout the rest of my jobs. Because after I did that, I think I was in a habit prior to that show. I was in a habit of like, yeah, I'll get it. Like, whatever. If I don't get it today, like, I'll get it. And, there wasn't time for that during the show. So I had to get it day of. And that pushed me through like my other jobs to like in audition, like, I get it right. Like, my mind needs to be in the choreography, focused on every single detail. And if it's not like I'm a bad person, but I feel like in my mind that's like you're marking it. Like, if you're not focusing on it, but also in that same breath, I think that choreography is a template in the way that if I'm taking a class, like, I'm not going to dance like the choreographer because I'm not the choreographer. I try to teach this all the time to my kids. Like, I'm like, do my steps, but like, I don't want to see me on you. I want to see you doing my stuff. How are you going to show me your stuff? And I have tried to stay true to that for any type of job that I've done or any type of audition or any project or anything. I can't be anyone else, even though I've tried for years to be other people, or follow the train of other people. But I want to be myself. If I don't get a job for being myself, then that was just not the job for me. Just wasn't the project for me or the show. So I think that choreography is a template, but also it's important to follow details. Like, if someone says your right foot goes here, that they're saying it for a reason. Right. So focus on that.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Like, and I think it's something that you really show and live by, and it's so clear that you believe and have done the work to really believe in being yourself, be true to yourself, and like stand up for yourself in a situation where if someone's trying to make you something that you're not, it's not for you. And like, I feel like you're so positive about that, and I really appreciate that because it's hard to stand against that sometimes in this industry because you feel like, you don't want to push it too hard. You might not get something, but I don't know. You're such a great example that like being yourself really does pay off, and also taking the time to get to know yourself and, really learn what you like and who you are as a person really helps you be successful in this industry.
Absolutely. I think I say this all the time, but you're a human first, an artist second, and a dancer third. I heard that quote from Mia Michaels when she, on season 1 of So You Think You Can Dance. And I was like, like, that's some facts. I don't want to say that I have like my whole life figured out now. Excuse me, I keep trying to burp. I don't want to say that I have my whole life figured out now because I'm definitely still learning the human side of me on an artist level. I want to be known as Becca, but I want to also be known as adaptable. I have definitely told people like I can't do something or like I won't do something because it just didn't make me feel comfortable. When I did Isn't It Romantic, I was originally in a dress and I was like they had the outfit that I wore for the video for the movie. I thought that was going to be the outfit that they put me in. It like I had the jewelry, I had the eyes, like I had all of it. And they put me in a dress and I was like this isn't it. And so day of filming, I like went up to the costume and I'm like, listen, I hate to be that girl, but like I'm not myself in this. Like I don't want to say that I don't want to be difficult, but the blue outfit that we had I felt was so much more me and like I can give the everything through that outfit. And they were like, all right. Well, what's other people wearing? And I'm like, I'd be the only one in blue. I wouldn't match with anyone. If that's another constellation, she was like, okay, we could do that, and whatever's gonna make you comfortable. And I was like, that was the first time. That was the first time that I was on a SAG job as well. And I think with SAG jobs and non-union jobs, they're a little different on like the respect level a little bit. SAG jobs, you're the reason, like the talent, as much as they're like, even though there's actors, like the talent makes the vision.
Yeah,
So
you
I
guys
think
booked as like principal roles, not like as like dancer extras. Like
yes.
like
So
sometimes that's where you get to like eat with the actors and like you get this
yeah,
the extras are like on the side and you're like
yeah.
sorry.
Like we were separated from like the background extras, and it was weird because, but also I was like, well, I mean, we are like dancing 100 times for one 30-second take. So, like, not like don't sit with us, but it was nice that we were prioritized because they knew that they're not going to get their best work if we're not treated well. And
That
that was
is
kind of
so
the first
brave
time.
of you. That
I
is
was
so brave of you to say something. I would be terrified to say something.
no, I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna fire me. And first day too, like I had a full on like panic attack in my Uber because our call was 5 a.m. and I left my house at 3:30 to make sure that I got there early. I ended up still getting there early, but I was stuck in traffic for 25 minutes, like completely stopped. And it was because construction cut off in New York, like a whole road, like a whole freeway to not get there. I'm like calling my mom like at 3 in the morning, like yelling at her, like, what do I do? They're gonna fire me from the job. Like, this is my first like big job and they're gonna like get rid of me. She's like, Rebecca, you've already bought it. Like, you've already got the job. Like, they're not gonna fire you. I'm like, they're gonna think I'm so unprofessional. And like, Leon was the first person there, and like people showed up late, and
You're always so early for every job that I've ever seen.
terrified of because I don't want to be. I've always learned that like if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. Like always. Like so, I want to be 30 minutes early so that I can like get my life together. I don't have to worry about not being there. Like even to the airport, I'm like an hour and 2 hours like early because I'd rather like chill. I don't know. I'm terrified of being late. Like I hate it. I don't even want to think about it. It makes me so like my neck is sweating.
Well, we can move on to. I wanted to talk about. I mean, we've kind of talked a little bit about just like you as a person, but I wanted to ask you, what are some of your other passions outside of dance? Because I know that you've done a lot of work and just really like finding yourself and centering yourself. So I was love to hear if there are some things that you've found that really have, like sparked another creative interest in your life.
I like I've tried a lot of crafts. I've tried so many things. I am artistically challenged, I think, in a way. I enjoy editing. I enjoy like filming things and directing a lot. I think money comes into play there when it's like, oh, um, I want my vision to be good. Like, that's also, I have had do a concept video on my New Year's resolutions for 5 years now. But I don't want to do a video if I can't afford it to be good, you know? I
I'm
want it to
100%
be,
the same.
yeah, I want, like, that's not to like diss anyone who's like putting their work out there. I want to be able to pay every single person that's involved. I want to pay my dancers well. I want it to be like a job. I don't want it to be like, do this for me, because I feel like my choreography is very collaborative. Like I said before, even though I'm the one choreographing it, it's very much determined on how the dancers are feeling that day. If they're going to give them all because of what they had for breakfast, or if someone's feeling mad about something, I can't ask them to be this happy-go-lucky person if they're not feeling it, because, you know, you're a human first, and that affects people on so many levels than just like art. Um, and so when I'm choreographing or when I'm working, I always want to like include it with the person or the people that I'm with, because once I give it to them, it's not mine anymore. They're the ones performing it, they're the ones executing it. They're the ones that are essentially making the vision, but because they play such a vital role in it, I want them to give their human side of it so that they are themselves. During quarantine, I have like really stopped dancing, like which is really sad. I feel like I just needed a break for a while. I didn't have a break, I think, since I was 16. So I've just kind of been go, 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 go. And even before quarantine, I was on a job, and we like flew back from that job because of quarantine.
Really?
But I was supposed to be somewhere for a month. And then, you know, then I came back, and here we are 6 months later. But
Wow.
my camera moved. But but yeah, I thought, I was like, you know, I'm never gonna get this break again. So during quarantine, I was in Florida with Megan, and we worked out a lot, but I didn't like get toned and like have a whole body transformation. I actually also did eat Taco Bell every single day. So, but I tried to do a lot of crafts. I'm not good at it. I'm so bad at crafts. I
No,
want
that's
to
okay. You have
big.
so many other ways of being creative. I think also just like it's so important to take a break sometimes because especially in New York, it's very much like if you're not doing something all the time, you're failing. And I feel that myself. Like I feel stressed about dance and like losing my stamina, and it's been really hard. And I think it hits people differently. And like if you're the type of person who needs to like take 100 classes to feel okay, then like that's okay. But it's also
Yeah.
not necessary. I think sometimes the best dancers that I know, they do take breaks and they sit with themselves and they listen to their body
Yeah.
and they do
I've
what they need to do. And if that's eating Taco Bell, then that's maybe what you need to do.
I've definitely focused a lot more on my mental health during this quarantine. I have like talked to a psychiatrist because I haven't been able to like, I don't want to talk to a therapist through a camera. I would so much rather be in person, especially like unlocking trauma in my life. So I don't want to do that. But the psychiatrist that I have is like very helpful and like really listens to what I am feeling mood wise, and like the chemical imbalance in my head. And I thought for so long I was just like crazy, which I don't want to use like ableist language, but like I felt that. And once I like talked to someone and they were like, yo, like, no, you have like something wrong and that's okay. I have tried to encourage, especially during quarantine, like everyone and anyone to just listen to what your mind and your body is telling you, because it's like talking for a reason. I think I've been a lot more involved in like politically what's been going on recently. I tried to ignore politics for a really long time because it made me so angry. But now I'm so angry that I want to just talk about it all the time
Yeah,
because
that's amazing.
I think that it's so odd to me, and especially being like a gay woman. I still like even on the train, like Megan and I will still get people like talking about us, like to our face, telling us what our lifestyle is wrong, and I'm like,
In
what?
2020 in New York? Oh my
New
god.
York, like you were just sad, and like that's fine, be sad, but don't take out your insecurities on me because I'm not the one. But I have been very passionate, especially in the recent months for obvious reasons. If I haven't said it yet, Black Lives fucking matter. um, Vote because that's important.
Check your
We
registration. Make sure you
check
have
your
a plan.
registration.
Make sure you know
Um,
how you're gonna vote, where you're gonna
yep,
vote, if you're doing it early, late,
late.
if you're going in
Yeah,
person, make a plan. There's a ton
I
of
think,
great websites. I can actually put in the
yeah, please.
description. There's a great website where you can like check everything that's on your ballot, and it will literally say, "Here it is. Here's the people on the ballot. Click on them. These are what they believe in. This is the
So
stuff."
easy.
You can print it
Do
out, bring
it.
it with you to where you want to go, so you don't mess up. It is like so important right now.
I think this is the most important election to, in my opinion. I've only been able to vote for two elections. I turned 18 right after the one that we had in 2012. But I I cannot express how much that voting this election is so important. And I know a lot of people our age have didn't even vote, and it was because they it's not that they didn't want they didn't think they had a voice. It's just, I don't want to choose between the two. But when you don't choose, it's, these aren't the best two options, but there's a better one in my opinion. There's a clear better one in my opinion. And I think that for the sake of many lives, that doesn't include my own because I'm a very privileged individual, but I there are many lives at stake for mental health reasons, for women, for LGBTQ plus people, for everyone in between, whether you think that your voice matters or not. I promise you it does. So please vote. and, and I don't want to say vote for the right person, but vote. um, yep, I think that that is very important, and mental.
So great that
I'm sweating.
I know. I get like
I'm like I hate. Also, I don't care like enough. I want my voice to be very very much heard in that sense. Because it's important. We shouldn't, the system's been so screwed up, and it was created to be screwed up. And that's like it's not from it hasn't like, oh, we've gotten ourselves to this position, like, no, it was created as like to not
so many people.
and again, I'm a very privileged individual, but I rest in peace to like Ruth, because RBG, because she has done so many things for women specifically, and it's really tough to see her go, but also really tough to think that within a week's time she's being considered to be replaced, which is mind-boggling in my opinion. And there are so many things that can be changed, and they're not going to be changed tomorrow. They're not going to be changed the next day.
And it's
But
also not the people who are being oppressed job to make those changes. We as white people have to step up. Like, it's beyond time. Like, you can't also expect the people who are being attacked and oppressed to teach you how they should be treated and why it's wrong. Like, it is our job. So if anyone out there is watching,
read a book.
Google is free.
It's free. Educate yourselves. Take it upon yourselves to learn and actually educate yourselves on something that you don't know about. Because I'm not gonna sit here and be the token white person for speaking up of Black lives, because that's not my position, nor do I know everything and anything. The only thing that I know is my opinion, and I hate that all of the protests have to happen, but that's also how shit gets done. Like, you need a collective community to talk about step by step what's going on, but like, it's not Black people's job to educate you and tell you what needs to be done. Like, on an ethics standpoint, I think it's pretty simple. I think it's pretty simple that if you're a human, you treat humans how humans deserve to be treated. And that's that on that.
I think that that's also, I mean, it's relevant to our conversation about, being a dancer and finding ways to create and stay creative during this time, because I think also it's so necessary, and I don't find it as common that dancers, we kind of sometimes get stuck in like thinking only about dance and focusing only about dance and all the steps and the outfits and the what we have to do and what haircut should I get, and like, how are you supposed to make art if you don't know about the world? That's
absolutely
my thing. And so I think that this time of us having to take a step back from the industry, I hope people are doing the research and doing the work, and I think that that is so awesome that that's something that you've been really passionate about during this time.
If you can't, yep, and if you can't educate yourself, donate. If you can't donate, learn other ways to be aware or hold. There's always something. Megan and I have been really passionate about the Loveland Foundation, which is providing therapy and mental health support to Black women and children. So we haven't announced it yet, but we've been making friendship bracelets, and we'll be selling those soon. So stay tuned. But all the money that we make from that will be donated, every single penny. So support. And they're cute, and I like them, so I think other people like them. But yeah, vote and do that. It's really important. Yeah.
And so we're gonna move into the kind of final segment, I guess, of the thing. I'm gonna put our little graphic up. Let me see if I can.
I'm gonna try to finish my paint.
Painting while I ask you. So, if
Yes, I'm ready.
you haven't watched before, I have these questions that are loosely color coded from the internet. Some of them are a little more deep, some of them are a little funny. I'm going to randomly pick one of each color, and then if you want to pass any of the questions, that's fine. But I just like to get to know people. I mean, obviously, I know you pretty well because we're friends.
Yeah.
In real
We
life.
actually did a show together, fun fact, audience members.
That was so fun. We got to travel to England, and
Perform
the
a
show,
musical.
we also got to talk a lot about like our personal struggles with bullying and like self-acceptance and a lot of stuff like that. So I love that show. I really hope that it comes back when we're
out of quarantine.
Out of quarantine and kids are able to have shows at school, because it was a show.
Yeah.
At schools. But yeah, so if you don't want to answer them, I don't think any of them are really too crazy, but
I'm an open book. I love questions.
Okay, awesome. So this first one's really easy. Describe what your crush looks like.
Okay. Megan. Megan Lee Michaelgard. Megan Lee G. Michaelgard. She is my soulmate and everything in between. Yeah, she is a great human being. I'm looking at her photograph right now inside. She's a great human being. I'm so lucky that I got to meet her. We met at a rehearsal, and it was like one of those like 80s movies type of thing where like the lights dimmed and it was like just her in a spotlight. But I went up to her, and she had what I thought was an 11 tattooed on her, and I recently got 11 tattooed on me at the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, is that an 11? And she's like, no, it's an equal sign. And I'm like, she was like, I'm gay. And I'm like, oh, cool, see you later. Because she's my first relationship. So I never like dated anyone before and like have never pursued women because I was fresh out of the closet. But yeah, and I was so like head over heels so fast. But I didn't want her to know that, so I like tried to play it cool and like hard to get. But that wasn't very successful. She was just like, "No, I knew," and I'm like, "Okay, well."
No, I love you guys. You're like such a breath of fresh air. Like it's just so nice. Love is so great.
Great. I hate bragging about a relationship, but it's just I'm so lucky that she's the one. Like I've never pictured my future until I met her. So I'm
I
yeah,
can't listen to this.
I know she's gonna be like, what? We live together. She's great. We will watch HGTV, so we're doing everything.
Okay, the next one's actually kind of easy too. What food do you crave more than any other?
Ooh, sushi. I could eat sushi every single day. I love it. I used to hate it as a kid. I thought that raw fish would taste like fish, but you know, a spicy tuna roll just like hits different sometimes. Um, I have since I started teaching at my studio, I want I have decided at this moment that every Wednesday I'm gonna get sushi. Um, and I just love sushi. I could eat it every single day to be honest. It's just so good. Love it.
Let me see. Well, this one's a would you rather, so I'm not gonna do that one actually. Let me take a different one. But when you were little, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a movie star. Like I wanted to be actually that's not true. I wanted to be Amanda Bynes. And I wanted to have I mean I still do. I want to have my own show. I want to like have a skit show that like is just stupid and funny and like not doesn't make any sense, but like is funny.
I think that you could definitely do that.
I wanted to, but I also wanted to be a professional dancer, but I definitely wanted to be an actress. Have always been kind of a goofball, and um, yeah, that's where I want to go.
Love it. Okay. Last
I'm ready.
question before our final big question of the show.
Okay.
If you had to make an alias, what would it be?
Like a different personality.
You're like a spy or something. You had to like be. I mean, you kind of have a lot of characters that you just naturally do.
Yeah, honestly, you're right. I think that that's a really good question. I feel like maybe I'd be like a bowling owner, like a bowling alley owner.
Oh, I could see
I
that
used,
for you.
yeah, I used to be, I used to be a competitive bowler. Fun fact.
What?
Yeah, when I was 9 years old, I was on a bowling team, and I got the highest score in my league. I was 15 points shy of a perfect score. It was also with bumpers, but like we leave that detail out.
Still,
And so yeah, I feel like I would do that. Cause like nobody would care enough to like go to a bowling alley and search for their alias, right? That's what I think.
I love that. That's amazing. Okay, and our final question of the day: what brings out your most creative self?
Whew. I think that it depends. I think it definitely depends on my mood. I think that am if I'm feeling a certain way, I will try to use that emotion to my advantage. If I'm feeling really angry or really frustrated or really sad or happy, I want to pull from that genuine experience and not just make a step to a cool song that I like. I also think that I just want to make people happy and make people laugh. So I do a lot of the time have other people in mind when I am creating things. I want people when they're scrolling to I want to be the video that they stop at because like I'm not that person where I sit there and watch every single video. It's just it becomes toxic for me because I'm very much a comparison person. So yeah, I think I want people to always just smile. You know, there's a lot of good in this life to be happy for and to laugh about, and also life's not that serious to like say that, you know, I have to do this so perfectly because there's no such thing as perfect, but I think that my most creative self is like being my most authentic self. Yeah.
I love
Cool.
that.
Mic drop that one.
That was really good. That's a good sound
Thanks.
bite.
That's my done that. I think my most authentic self is my most creative self. I like the way I said it before.
That was awesome.
Yay.
So, do you have anything you would like to plug? Where can people find you? I have your Instagram on the screen here, but you can say it out loud for the audio listeners.
My Instagram is it's Bex Robinson. It's as it's and then Bex Bex Robinson. My website is bexrobinson.com. I'm teaching at 2 studios. If anyone has kids or ages or even adults in upstate New York, I teach at Dance to the Point. They're a new studio that has just recently opened up in Wappinger Falls. I also teach at Artistry Dance Project. The studios are great, great vibe. I love all my students. If you need to donate to somewhere, Loveland Foundation is fantastic. Also Glitz, as well. When Megan and I start selling our friendship bracelets, they'll be like $5. So like,
yeah, I already said I need to have Megan as a guest too. So maybe when you guys are ready to launch that, she can be a guest and we can plug that again.
and what also I'll plug it for her, but she has recently started a program called Workshop from Home with Huron Lee. They're currently in the midst of their first session. It's sold out, so next time they have another session, I highly suggest getting on that because it is the perfect mix of being a human, educating yourselves, and learning from the roots, not just busting out choreography. It's very much like, who am I? Am I feeling good? How do I create something knowing that this feeling's in the back of my head? And I think that so far everyone in their program is a really genuine, fresh soul. And it's for anyone who is beginning or also intermediate and advanced. They have 2 tracks and it's really great. So the next time that they have another session, highly suggest getting on that because yeah, it's sold out and you don't want to miss out. This Megan, everybody,
Megan, come
Lee.
We've been talking about you.
We've been talking about you.
You'll have to watch
Would you take this? Awesome.
and hear all the
No,
stuff.
don't interrupt. It's our last big question, so I need to shout out your program. Do you like it?
We still have to finish our craft. We'll finish it off camera and send it. We'll post a picture to make sure it looks good after. The metallic was definitely the way to go.
Yeah, mine is silver. I will try to finish it and post it when
it is. Do like another coat, I think, of mine. Yeah. I think I want to try and paint the inside too, because like that kind of gives it away that it's toilet paper.
Yeah, I tried to do the tops of it, but yeah, I might have Megan finish up on this one. Yeah. Tin Man from Wizard of Odd vibes.
I love it.
Wizard of Oz, not Wizard of Odd.
Wizard of Odd. That's our new content video that we'll finally do in 2021. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I had the best time. I think I said like a million times, but
something that I'm learning I have a very limited vocabulary. I say awesome, cool, like, and I
Amazing.
feel at all times.
Yeah,
And
all
amazing,
the
yeah,
time.
all the
I
time.
say in the sense and that type of situation a lot.
And
Those are my phrases.
oh my gosh. I'm about to say amazing.
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 Okay, well, thank you so much for being a guest. The audio version of this show will go live on Tuesday, I believe. And then there'll be another live show Wednesday. And then there's also mini episodes that are just on the podcast. So make sure you subscribe to Dancers Doing Stuff on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And I'm going to be starting The Artist's Way. I was about to pull the book, but it's in my room. Um, Starting in October, I'm going to be going through the Artist's Way book. It's like a 12-week kind of program that you can do just to get the book. And I'm going to be talking about it every Sunday for 12 weeks. Just a little short mini episode. So if anyone is interested doing it with me, getting our creativity on, you can join the Facebook group for Dancers Doing Stuff. All of this will be in the description once I edit it after we sign off. So there's a lot of links.
Haley, thank you.
Of course, of course. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.